10 seconds to go. Race 6.7, WLVR Series 6. They're pedaling like mad. 4 seconds, 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second. And you have to hit the pedals hard to get away and get a fast start. Try to get in that front group is the name of the game. And you can see already this Simon Hall getting a little bit left behind there. Must be something wrong. His club mate Jack Samway's having no problems though. Up here, 1.2 kilometres into the race. Jack leading away from Foster and Noonan and Greenhalgh, Hammond, Board, Weston, Olofsey, Johan, Pete Sibley from Watford as well. Watford doing a good showing then. Got a couple of riders up front. Poor old Simon looking like he was having some difficulty getting overtaken there. Clearly something wrong, must have been in the wrong gear or having some trainer issues. But I know Simon's a better rider than that and he'll be back next time. Meanwhile, up the front, we have 1.6 kilometres gone. You can see the route on your right is the little squiggly loop there. The blue dot is where the riders at the front are at the moment. You'll see there's a little squiggly bit on the left-hand side. Now, basically, that is the start and finish. We come out of Ruislip Lido, which is essentially a lake, which is a reservoir, actually, in some woodlands on the edge of London. And it is... I suppose preserved land. It's technically in London, but it looks more like the scenery you can see on your screen now. Woods and this lake with a false beach. So we come out of there, do this loop and then come back and finish there. Now the finish is likely to be very, very fast. We have used this course before, but a lot of the riders, the newer riders, will not be familiar with it because it was a few series back when we last used it. And at that occasion, there was a great solo win from Carlos Sella, as I remember. So look out and see what happens this time around. Now then, it's 2.4 kilometres into the race. This is quite a sizable pack up front. We've got still 118 riders online. Or was it 116? Sorry. 116 riders online. Front pack, probably about 40 odd riders, I would guess. Johan Olofsey up there with Dave Stewart, Pete Sibley for Watford, El Bard and Matt Hammond for Rasio Racing, all up there. Johan Olofsey, nice to see him in their Sands team in second place at the moment. It stands for South Africa, New Zealand. They are South Africans living in New Zealand, and it must be some unearthly hour for them at the moment to be riding here, but great to see Johan back. Helped me with some of the formats in the early days of these series, so very much part of the family, even though we've never met in real life. Unlike the leader at the moment, Nick Greenhalgh, who doesn't live too far away from me, and I have met many times in real life. He's zooming off the front, and the name of the game here is to see how many riders you can lose out of this pack. Try and thin this pack down. Now, the attack is coming on this very sort of small ramp. You can see the gradient's up to 1.5%, and if you look at the bottom profile, the long green line, it just went over a sort of slightly orangey bit. The gradient now down to plus 0.6, so it'll come together again now, and the name of the game is just to see how many riders you can lose. You'll see coming up shortly for these riders, they are the big blob on the front of all those little white blobs. They're going to come up to another little ramp soon. Jack Samways for Watford going off the front now, 20 odd metre gap off the front. I don't think that will last, and I don't think he expects it to last, but it puts pressure on, and every time somebody puts pressure on the front, you see Roy the Rocket Neal coming up on the left now to join King Tubby. Every time this pressure gets put on, people towards the back of this group will struggle to stay on, and if the elastic goes and you get more than about 10, maybe 15 metres off the back, it's very hard work to get back on. Remember, if you're trying to get back onto the group, you're riding faster than the guy at the front. It's hard work and it will burn matches. It's 4 kilometres just notched up, just under 11 to go in this 15 kilometre circuit. Stuart Gill is in there for Twickenham. I see Jacek Rohrback, Polish rider, riding in West London colours there, the blue and white, the purple of Westerly in there. I think that's Tim Cummins and Will Brown, and just trying to see who the other West London rider is. I'm not sure, I didn't quite grab that. So there's a few Moon Riders in there, Moon Riders with the white jerseys with the green band across the chest, and the other black, white and green riders are from OTR. They've got the green stripe down their shorts. The white jersey with the red stripe down, you can see Alistair McAlpine and James Melville, either side of the peloton towards the front, 15th and 7th at the moment. They wear the GCN jerseys, but they ride for Glasgow United. And Stuart Gillies is in the Ukraine top, but riding for Twickenham, who usually wear dark blue. The yellow, black and red is Southborough District Wheelers. Not too many of them in tonight, but a great club from Kent in southeast England. Just trying to see which other clubs are in there. The sort of pattern jerseys with one pink arm and one blue arm are the no pins 3R riders. Orange and black, there's 2 orange and black teams. One is Watford Velo, who basically got orange shirts with speckles on. The other is Racio Racing, who've got black shirts with Racio Racing in orange on there. Nick Greenhouse, Matt Hammond will be the 2 Racio riders to look out for. Jack Samways in this group for Watford in particular. I see Julian Fussell is the Southborough District Riders' second rider in this group. He's wearing the Ukraine top. So 2 Southborough District Wheelers riders in there. Now then, we have 5.25 kilometres under our belt, riding at 40 kph. These races are not slow by any means. The gradient's very, very slight here. They've been over that big ramp now. And there's one other team to look out for here. The white jerseys with the blue shorts with GBR on will be the Pocomotion riders. There probably are some other teams I haven't mentioned. My apologies if that's the case. So we're looking at about 40 riders in this front group. I think it's 38, 39, I think. There seems to be a little bit of a gap opening up somewhere. And I think they're not shedding as many riders as you might have thought. I mean, we've still got plenty of riders in the race. 116 still riding. So something like about a third of the riders are in this front group still, which is quite good. Now, these races are designed so that it will split into groups and everybody can have their... Oh, look, there's nobody behind within sight. So this front group very much having pulled away. Morris just falling off the back there in 41st place. I think he'd do better to let the little group behind get up to him and all work together to stay as a group. It's going to be too hard solo. And... as I say, we like the little reformation of these groups behind. Yes, 8 Royalback and Stuart Thorne in there for West London. Murray for OTR. We see in 2 OTR riders, Gordon Jackson, the other one. Tobias York in there for West London. Swede in the front of that group. And Leonard and a couple of others in there. Back to another group here. We have... Boolers and we have Van Mel, David Buckley for Wesley, Canaria the Spaniard in 62nd. Still, pretty much this is about halfway through the race, and a couple of riders in the red kit there. I'm not sure who they ride for actually. So yeah, that's about the halfway group, and as we move back, we see riders. Behind Healy in 66th, Simon Hall from Watford Velo, who we saw having trouble at the bottom at the beginning, sitting on the wheel there, 36 kph, which is not an unreasonable speed. It's very slightly uphill, but when you're not in the group, that's the sort of speed that is quite respectable. You probably won't win you the race. Pinot, Verhut and Goldberg in this little group. Spicer just out the front there. Would be better to get back in there with Dave Hayes with the Scottish Shorts. All Caroline Reuter, 76th position, the leading lady for RIAC. Now RIAC are really going to score some points here today, I think. Caroline Reuter looking good for the 100 points in the ladies' race. Quite a big gap back to the Lafitte group there, the French rider with Shields, Tom Alsop in there. I see as well Hadfield in there. But I think Caroline Reuter, if she takes another 100 points a day, is edging ever closer to the ladies' title. And we have Eames as well, another RIAC lady. I think it's Caroline. Could be wrong though. Claire Miller for Twickenham CC in that little group. So and Willis for Twickenham. So 2 Twickenham riders and 2 RIAC riders in that little group. Shields out solo, not a good place to be. Putterman's group here. Laura Whittingham just behind Brett Smith, and Laura Whittingham riding for I think she's riding for Twickenham if I remember rightly, and Wright, Guy Seals, Chantel Mendes at 99th. She'll get 2 points if she were to finish 99th in the general classification, but far more in the ladies. Gavin Grant giving Lisa West a tow round here, the two Twickenham riders. Lisa looking for points for the Twickenham ladies team to see if they can overhaul West London and take second spot. Gavin Grant giving a tow round. Ball. Jessica Wright there with a couple of teammates, Maria Witsky and Jose España, who in fact are married to each other. That's Maria and Jose. They live in Puerto Rico, and Jessica in Lancashire in north of England, neither actually from West London, but all riding for West London. Lisa Snell also 111th riding for West London, and that's just me. That's the camera bot, so I'm not really pedalling too hard. Lisa at 111th is probably at the back marker at the moment. She'll know these roads well. She's from the area. As we move up, look here, Chantal Mendes against Stokes, but for Lisa West still on Gavin Grant's wheels with Stokes and a little group forming around that'll be good for them working together, and the bot at the back. So going back up to the front, Matt Looker now hauling off the front for no pins. Got a teammate just behind him, but Wouter Clays has decided he's going to intervene in this one, and he's going racing off. There's a little bit of a gap appearing now between the front two and the rest. The rest need to pull this one down. 6 kilometres to go. I don't think it'll get away, but again it has this group thinning effect. Julian Fussell there. Julian Fussell is in fact got a Ukrainian flag next to him, but has got the Southborough District wheelies kit on. So Julian in the yellow, black and red there parks there in that was a Ratio kit, wasn't it? React riders up there. That's Richard Ackers. Most of the React jerseys will be ladies, but Richard actually runs the React organisation. Do lots of training programs and run the ladies team. That's Richard Ackers there, so look out for him in this race. Jack Samways for Watford up there. Johan Arhen, the Swede, and they're looking to close that gap down, and it's Dave Stewart. James Melville bridging the gap there to get with that front group. 5.4 kilometres to go. Nick Greenhouse just seeing James Melville disappear a little way away with Wouter Clays, and James going off the front. He likes to do this. He's a great one for a bit of attacking riding during a race, and it does brighten it all up, so we approve, shall we say. So James getting hauled in though, I'm afraid. That's not going to last. Wouter Clays ensuring that he keeps an eye on things. Twice champion of this series as well. To look back, absolutely no one within sight of this group, and again we're still looking about 30 something riders, probably 38, something like that, 36, 37, 38 riders in this group, and the winner's certainly going to come from this group, that's for sure. It hasn't thinned down as much as we might have thought. Now, three interesting points to come now. You can see the white blob on the bottom. They're coming up to the first downhill. Downhills remarkably do offer chances if you can actually attack on a downhill. It doesn't sound instinctive, but it does happen. You don't need the descending skills of a mountain, of a mountain of the Tour de France or something like that. It's not the descending skills in terms of hairpin bends and all the rest of it. It's just power, and sometimes it just seems to catch some people out, and we'll wait and see what happens. They're coming ever close to that blue section. Quite a few no pins 3R riders in there. You can see these jerseys, pink on pink, sort of on one side as West London bot. That's me, still trailing away at the back. And Richard Ackers storming off the front now, being chased by Canal. And 4 kilometres to go. I don't think that's going to work for Richard, but a great move anyway. The no pins guys going off the front, making sure that doesn't happen. Peter Sibley for Watford Velo. Peter Sibley and Jack Samways both up here for Watford Velo. A local team doing very well in the team's classification. Nick Greenhouse, Shirasio going off the front with Peter Sibley on his wheel, not letting that one go. One of the no pins riders just behind, and Jack Samways and just trying to see Paul Hinson up there chasing this down. Everybody working hard. Tim Cummins going off the front, having a great race today. Great stuff, Tim. Lives down the road from me. Peter Sibley from Watford taking a little turn on the front with no pins going up to the front now. Richard Acker's in there for React. Dave Stewart we can see in the blue and white too. So how's this one going to play out? 3.2 kilometres to go. 44 kph. Yes, it's slightly uphill now. They've just done the downhill section. 40 kph now as the effect of the gradient kicks in, but it's only 0.8% as Bard goes off on the left, almost unnoticed. That he's not going to get away with it. The peloton slightly to the right hand side of the road. James Melville coming up on the left though. King Tubby moving over to the left. Formations appearing here. A couple of riders coming through the middle now. 2.79 kilometres to go as Jack Samways takes a turn on the front, pulling away. It's probably a little bit early to go, but you can see the effect. Look, it's no longer a bunch, it's getting stretched, and there's possibly a gap just behind Peter Sibley here. Will that ever come back together? Let's have a look at that gap. Will it close again? 2.5 kilometres to go. It's not a permanent gap yet, but it's going to be hard work for those riders just behind. I think they're pulling back though. Jack Samway still on the front. I think it's not going to lose too many riders, maybe one or two. There's two stragglers who might not make it on, but the pressure is still on the front. 43 kph. It's slightly downhill here. Now if you look at the finish, you can see at the right there is a downhill just before the finish. You need to be aware of this because you don't want everybody else to go zooming down the hill and a gap appear, because you won't make that up in the final bit. So I think the group's together. King Tubby in second place, just behind Scott Gleeson from the USA. Scott pulling away with 1.8 kilometres to go. It's a brave move. It's quite an early place to go early, but as I said earlier, the last time we ran this race, Carlos Sella did this and won handsomely. Nobody caught him, and I just wonder if what happened there is that the little slope meant that when the peloton did try to chase Carlos down, it was too late because he had the advantage of the downhill. We shall see. Peter Sibley is soloing, trying to haul him back, but that gap's up to 37 metres now, and 1.37, 44 now. That gap is getting dangerously big for the peloton. They need to do something about this. 1.2 kilometres to go, and Scott Gleeson is absolutely piling off the front as he goes under the Flamme Rouge with 1 kilometre to go, and he's got quite an awesome gap. This is going to need to be controlled. 900 metres to go, and it doesn't look like anybody's really going to seriously chase him down, are they? That gap is dangerously big. He's just about to go down the ramp, and that will help his cause immensely. It's interesting. 75 metres. He's taking advantage of the ramp. He goes round the final bend. This is into the straight now. Sorry, I think there might be one more bend actually. I beg your pardon. One more bend. That's the penultimate one. There's a little bit of a curve here, but then there's the penultimate left-hander into the final straight. He's got a lead of 47 metres as he edges towards the finishing line. 250 metres to go with a lead, and it's down to about 36 now. It's narrowing. 30 metres, 29. He's got 100 metres to go with a 29 metres advantage. It's going to be enough as he sees the finishing line draw up. What a fantastic finish. And the peloton just miss out. Karlberg, Johan Aaron, Nick Greenhalgh, Ray Wilson, John Sammer, James Melville, Matt Hammond, all in a sprint finish with Matt Looker in there as well for no pins. Stuart Bradley and Wouter Clays taking us up to 11th spot. Well, what a finish, and the peloton just left the chase a little bit too late, leaving Scott with the clear win there. As we look, Matthias Bergqvist 18th, Stuart Gillies 19th, and Linden 21st, Noonan 22nd, Peter Sibley in 23rd, did so much on the front, Paul Hinson at 24, Jan van den Aarde at 25th, Dave Stewart 26th, King Tubby 27th. Will Brown would be delighted with 28th as Vespa takes 31st. Roy the Rocket Neild at 32nd. Park just behind him. Radnick at 35. Connolly for Watford Velo at 37. Sorry, I missed that 36, didn't I? Doesn't seem to be there, so that's probably why I missed it out. Anyway, Jacek Rohrbach is in this group with Stuart Thorne now. This will be the second group coming in. They'll have their own little sprint finish. One of the Southwood District Wheelers, Western, is in it. Stuart Thorne is going off the front now. Stuart's a strong rider. They're not going to make this up, and Jacek sitting back a little bit, watching Stuart take it from Healy, and that little sprint going very much Stuart Thorne's way, the man from Chalfont in Buckinghamshire. Next up, Andy Beale. I'm not sure what happened to Andy. He's been riding well this series. It seems to be got behind here. Was away then. I don't know if he's just taking a sprint off the front of this group, but it looks like he's going to get swallowed up by it. And David Buckley, his teammate, is a good sprinter who's in there going for the front a little bit. Andy Beale just dropping off. He was ahead of this group, but they swallowed him and spat him out the other side. He might even lose this place. There's one more rider coming up behind him, but he just beats Horario, the Spaniard, to hold on to that position. MR at 62nd, just coming in nicely there. Always nice to see the finish. Marque going past the rider here, Leningal. Spicer is off the front of this little group. Healy just chasing. 300 metres to go. You've got to be strong to do a sprint at that distance in the Belgian national jersey. The little group behind has probably got the power to swallow him up, but can he hold on? No, he's going to get taken by Kent. Kent there just going past Spicer. Oh, in fact, the rest of the group are now going to swallow him up. So I was right. Tom Alsop going by him at this moment. Healy and all the others. Simon Hall is coming up soon too, I think. And Spicer leading them out, but just losing a place there. Simon Hall just about catching him, but not taking the place from him, I believe. Goldberg next. Hadfield at 74th, and again you get this group behind working together, and Dave Hayes, I should say, not quite getting that one from Lafitte, the Frenchman. Matt Feely, great to see him in here today, the Irishman from Dublin, coming in 71st place. And still more to come. Caroline Reuter looking like she might be the First Lady, as we look at some of the riders who've had the misfortune to have dropouts. This is not good. Some of these riders at the back have dropouts. West London Bot not even trying due to filming. And look at that. That's not a good place to have a dropout just before the finishing line. But anyway, so we look at, there's the lineup of riders who finished. Caroline Reuter, definitely the First Lady back, as we run down the line and have a look at some of the finishers parading and no doubt chatting on social media to each other at the end of the rest. Claire Miller coming in for Twickenham there, and she's with Willis, another Twickenham rider. Caroline Eames, Serena Race, another REACT rider. REACT putting out a great team. Eames just beating her teammates as well, of course. 150 metres to go for Serena. She's having quite a good campaign in the ladies competition. You can look up all the standings and results on www.westlondoncycling.com, and they will give you all the rankings and the finishing positions from each race as well. There's a little tab on there just says standings from the series. Shields coming in next. Putnam's, the Belgian, is coming in at 89th with 28 riders still out on the field. Oh, Putnam's maybe not going to hold that position because there's one of these little groups chasing. This is what happens. These are great, these little tussles between groups, and especially if you know some of the other riders, you can chat about it afterwards. Brandy just getting beaten there by Laura Whittingham for REACT. I thought she was riding for Twickenham, sorry, but she's REACT, of course. Another REACT lady taking a good position in the ladies' league there. Well done, Laura. And still a few ladies to come in shortly. Another REACT rider right there. We have Lockyer as well, I think. No, Lockyer's not a REACT rider. Beg your pardon. Lockyer is in the group. Lisa West for Twickenham, looking for ladies' points for the Twickenham team, currently third in the ladies' league. Gavin Grant, her teammate, just in front of her, taking the race with 250 metres to go. Can Gavin take it? No, Pettifer's going for it. Pettifer out of the saddle there, going for the sprint, but he's got a challenger coming up. Will Pettifer hold on to this, or will it be? It's not going to be, is it? It's always sad when you do this. It's Katz, the Netherlander, and Wright just in front there as well. Lisa West not really taking up the sprint in that little group. Chantal Mendes, another lady from RIAC, coming in. She's quite safely in this position. She'll take 103rd. There's no one significantly behind her, with 600 metres back to go. Gersels, so she can relax on the way in. There's no bonus points for getting a faster time, coming in at 27.28 kph, comfortably, probably enjoying the sight of the finishing line, and can ease up as she passes the Ladies League logo. Back to Gersels, who we just mentioned. Again, a safe finish, 400 metres back to ball, so no danger of losing that position as the groups become a little bit thinner now, as take these sort of final bends, go around this one. You start seeing the markers, 250 metres to go, and then you see that last left-hander that takes you to the finishing line. 200 metres to go. Okay, so Ball, Cole, some of the ladies to come in now after this. Getting that Belgian jersey, I always like that Belgian jersey, the sky blue with the Belgian black, yellow and red bands across it, as Geisels brings home 103rd place for Belgium. Ball now just coming back with 200 metres to go, it's past the 200 metres sign, going along towards that left-hander. As I say, once around the left-hander you start seeing the finishing straight, and then it's all to play for, except I don't think she need worry too much. Kitty Hall from Watford Velo ladies is a good 250 metres behind. He's not going to catch her now, so she can enjoy the finish. And we look back to Kitty Cole there for Watford Velo. Not sure why Kitty hasn't got the orange kit of Watford on, but nevertheless looking fine as she comes home for 105th position. A few riders left on the course, but I think some of them have got to Canicles and are actually stopped, so I don't think there's going to be too many finishers after this. So a little trio here of West London riders, none of whom live in West London. Maria Vitsky and Jose Espanos are actually husband and wife and live in Puerto Rico. Jessica Wright from Lancashire, but all ride for West London. Cross the line as a little trio perhaps, or will there be a bit of a sprint? Let's see as we go around these final few bends. 400 metres to go. Not sure if they're actually talking. They will be after the race, I'll assure you, because we have a little social group for the ladies team. And Jessica, I think, fancies her chances. I think she's just moved out front there. Jose's sitting up. He's going to let the ladies battle this one out. There's points in the ladies league at stake. They might be on the same team, but and Maria just taking a little bit of a nudge in front of Jessica, but Jessica responds. I'm surprised Maria's doing this. She had COVID last week, and she was saying that she probably isn't going to race properly, but she's clearly giving it a bit of a go. Jessica, though, is going to take the little tussle between the two of them. Good friends, of course, both riding for the same team. And Jose being the gentleman and letting them battle it out, and just rolling in behind them there. Very decent of you. We go back. Laura Hardin is coming in next at 200 metres odd to go as they go around these last few bends. Lisa will be the last finisher, because I think all the riders behind Lisa have had mechanicals and stopped. So as we watch Harding come in for 109th, and Lisa will be our last finisher, I'm sure, with 300 metres to go. Lisa will know these roads in real life. She doesn't live too far away from and you may find it surprising that somebody in West London, Jersey, actually lives in West London, but there are plenty of us, really. And anyway, Lisa's from a family of decent cyclists, and her son is particularly fast. I'm trying to persuade him to race, but I haven't persuaded him so far. As Lisa comes in with 80 metres to go, she'll enjoy the sight of the finishing line, and we'll sit up and look at the results, I'm sure, and probably she'll go straight onto the WhatsApp group and discuss with the other girls how the race went, because that's what they tend to do afterwards. It's a very social affair. So just a reminder of that finishing scenario. We have Scott Gleeson with that emphatic sprint at the front, not quite caught by Ludwig Karlberg, Johan Arhen, Nick Greenhouse, Ray Wilson, John Sammer, James Melville, Matt Hammond, Matt Looker, Stephen Brearley for no pins, just behind his teammate Matt Looker. Wouter Clays in 11th will be disappointed, but it was a bunch sprint finish. You can see Marino Seton is having quite a good series, taking 12th place. So it's been a fascinating race, and you can sit there and study the times. The first column is the times. That's how long extra they were after the finisher. So you can see that Marino Sesson was 1.036 seconds behind Scott Gleeson. The watts per kilogram are on the far right, and you can see they're all within reasonable tolerances, so no reason to suspect any e-doping or anything like that from this lot. We generally don't suffer from that in these races. I think this is a fairly clean and decent crowd, and long may that remain so. We love the West London cycling results, but there's plenty more. There's 110 results. You can look at them all up on the westlondoncycling.com website. They will be updated already, and all you do is go into the website and then click the tab that says standings, and we'll see you in 2 weeks' time for race 6.8. Have fun.